Good evening everyone and welcome to the KTPF Community Show, live in the Hub, the online paranormal talk show brought to you by the Keeping the Paranormal Friendly community and in association with Spooky Radio. Established since 2007.
Hi, and I'm Steve.
I'm Suzanne. The KTPF is a dedicated, ongoing community which is not just there for when you're experiencing animosity from others. We welcome every paranormal investigator and enthusiast alike, including hobbyists, scientists and psychic mediums from around the globe, to join in as we cover this vast, fascinating subject, encouraging you to share information, advice and most importantly, friendship. Remember, collaboration, not competition. You're listening to the all-new KTPF show, live on Spooky Radio, keeping the paranormal friendly, where membership is just a smiling face. Let's try that again, shall we? My name is Suzanne.
Hi, and I'm Steve.
And we're here to do exactly what it says on the tin, to help bring the paranormal world together. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are you this evening? I hope you're well out there in chat room land and Spooky Radio land. Good evening, Sue65. For those of you who've not been here before, just to let you know that although we concentrate on the investigating side of the paranormal, the show will be incorporating a wide spectrum of this fascinating subject to involve you within our live and interactive chat room. Incidentally, I hope you can hear us okay, if you can let us know. With interviews from special guests within most areas of their chosen field, to team members promoting their groups and sharing their own experiences. Remember, this is your show too, where you can get involved within the chat room or even on the phone. We also invite you to introduce yourself to within our paranormal community on our website at www.ktpf.co.uk. You don't say, haha. Which is something our dear friend Paul Reed wanted for everyone. And later, as a tribute, we will be replaying the interview he recorded with us back in March, where he talks about his involvement within the paranormal world and about his plans and dreams to help for a better community. For those of you who don't know, Paul, who started Spooky Radio along with his good friend Ian Lawrence, sadly lost his fight to cancer on Friday the 11th of May. He will be sorely missed, but he enjoyed the show and really supported our concept of keeping the paranormal friendly, and for him we hope others will continue to do so.
Hi, I'm Chris Andrews from Phase 2 Paranormal in Stockport, and I'm proud to be keeping the paranormal friendly, where membership is a smiling face.
Okay, well, back to tonight, and as I said, we'll play that interview later on. We'll also have a rundown of the events from around the UK as advertised on paranormaleventsforyou.com. And remember, if you have any spare tickets for an event on the Saturday following the show or any special event, then please email us prior to the broadcasting and we'll be happy to mention it. At around 8:30 to 8:45, we will have Peter Wall on the phone talking about past life regression. But here live in the Hub this evening, we have the return of psychic medium Neil Munnerley. So if you have any questions for our guest, you can use the chat room and we will ask him for you. Or when we announce that the lines are open, you will be able to call in and ask for yourself. Okay? But please remember, we only have one phone line, so if there is anyone talking to someone at the time, then please be patient until they're finished. Otherwise, you'll just get the call waiting sign and it may interfere with the reception of the radio.
Beep, beep.
Hi, pal. Okay, so without any further ado, over to Neil. How are you, Neil?
Absolutely fine. Hello, Ian. How you doing? Good to talk again. Good to see everybody else again as well.
Yeah, definitely. So, what's been happening, Neil? What you been up to? What you planning?
Lots and lots of things. You know my thoughts at the moment. We're going through a huge energy change at the moment. I think lots of people are feeling it at the moment. Lots of people are going down with depression, and lots of people are getting anxiety and getting angry, and and it's worldwide. And it's a lot of it's got to do, I think, with the earth replenishing itself. It's repairing itself, and with that brings different energy fields, which is affecting everybody.
Yeah.
But I've been saying for months that there's going to be big changes. But apart from that, I've also been looking at keeping the paranormal friendly, as you know. But things are happening, as we know, and I don't know if anybody read the Sun newspaper yesterday. We won't talk too much about it, but things do happen.
Yes.
Which are good for change, I should say. But
Talking about change, everyone's decided to put the end of the world on hold at the end of the year.
well,
Yes.
supposedly.
They found proof that the Mayans actually went to the year 6000, not 2012.
Well, I think what everybody's forgetting about that as well is they're not including bank holidays in that.
All right.
If you add them up over how many centuries, and how many thousands of years of bank holidays there, I think we've got it all wrong anyway.
Well, this is it.
But I don't believe in that anyway. But
I don't know.
That's another story.
Yeah.
So, do we get days in lieu?
That's right, yeah.
So, okay, so you've been on.
Breathing soon, yes, we do.
We've been talking about mediumship in the past, and so maybe we can start talking about that again.
Sure.
Okay. Your side of mediumship, you touched on it before in our little interview.
Yeah.
So, what is there anything else you can tell us about?
Which part of the interview were we talking about? I think I was bombarded with questions at the time. So.
Okay, we'll talk about mediumship in general.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, how about you're a physical medium?
Yeah.
So, how does that side of it work?
Yes.
Well, again, there's many forms of physical mediumship, and some people use just sort of. I mean, you've got things like trance mediumship, which is a big one. Lots of people out there confess to be a trance medium, and I say the word confess, but we won't talk about that neither.
Yes, I did pick up on that one.
But there are many forms of physical mediumship. But the thing with physical mediumship is what it says. It's a physical presence, and you're using more physical energy, not just your own energy, but sort of spiritual energy as well. And it's a 50-50 thing. It's not. You're not getting messages in your head or anything like that. In some sort of degrees of physical mediumship, you can be possessed, as they say, in brackets. That's what people call it. But spiritual energy can enter your body or play with your mind, or so it's very hands-on, I call it.
Yeah. So are we saying that you actually take spirit in? So you're actually channeling spirit?
Well, if we look at trance mediumship, for example, what trance mediumship is, that the medium will actually go into what we call a trance.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's why it's called trance mediumship. And what that does, the medium will go into a state where they are at a level where they can sort of get in touch with spirit more than what, say, a clairvoyant medium would do.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a deeper level. But what that enables spirit to do is they come through and they will actually play with the medium's mind. It enables them they don't come into the body, but they'll actually play with the medium's mind.
Yeah.
And things will be broadcast in that manner of way.
Yeah. Ian's saying physical manifestation and manipulation.
Yeah, there's loads and loads and loads out there, and there's different people call different things, and you can write. There's a list as long as my arm that is included in physical mediumship.
Yeah.
But to be honest, it's all very much the same. It depends on how much of a level you're able to go, deep in trance or deep into the other side. So.
Yes, it seems today that a medium's not a medium anymore.
No.
This kind of medium or that kind of medium.
I wished that we could have gone back to the old days and just said, right, I'm a medium and that's it. You know, there's so many different titles out there. But then it comes down, again, what I was talking about is there's lots of people out there who confess to be this and confess to be that. And I think a lot of them people are completely wrong. They're barking up the wrong tree.
Right, can I just check, please, Ian? Is there something wrong with the replay? Is it freezing up or something? Is it coming across okay? Does it just keep glitching, Ian? If you can answer, please, darling. Somebody said it's been freezing a bit and keeps missing bits. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I actually get it myself every now and again. The sound goes and comes back.
Just keeps ringing every now and again. Is that a glitch in the programme or something? Or is it just having a one-off day? It's watchable. That's all it means. As long as you can hear what we're saying, that's all that matters. Okay, sorry about that, Neil. Carry on.
Okay.
So,
do you have a question on this?
not me.
Wrong, Sue.
I said, that's what I mean, not me. She said she's got a manifestation growing out of my chin.
Out the chin.
Yeah, you, Sue65.
Does it have a hair growing out the end of it as well?
She says, sorry guys, I can't be serious too when I have to.
Sounds like Cat. So, if anyone has a question there, they can ask on the chat room, or they can give us a ring. You can talk to us on the phone. It's not a problem. If you'd like to call Neil on 0844 414 3982, and he can talk to you on the phone live and answer any questions for you.
Yes, the one thing he won't do is give you a reading. That's a big no-no for you, isn't it, Neil?
No, I don't think it can be done on the internet or by phone. I think that's a load of old codswallop, to be honest. But
we're in Manchester, so.
Yeah, Sue's asking where we are. We're in Manchester, not far from the
Etihad Stadium.
Eastfields.
Yeah, Eastfields.
Bloody Etihad. So.
Well, that's what they call it now.
Yeah, so you don't believe in gadgets, do you, Neil?
No, I don't believe in gimmicks.
Gimmicks.
It's not so much the gadgets.
It's the gimmicks.
It's the gimmicks.
There's too many gimmicks.
So would you say we put too much faith in a lot of these gadgets and gimmicks that people use?
Look at
things like the Ovilus.
Yeah, that's a gimmick. The crystal ball's a gimmick. Rune stones are a gimmick. There's so many different things that people use. I mean, things like the pendulum, what people use, and that's completely codswallop. I'm sorry to say this, but it's completely codswallop. What happens with the pendulum is it's very, very micro movements in the brain that are actually making you swing the pendulum the way you want it. It's nothing to do with spirit, or it's not to do with messages from spirit. It's just you. And I usually do an experiment to prove that.
So couldn't you do the same with the rods, dowsing rods?
Dowsing rods, no, because the dowsing rods they're free from that kind of movement.
Yeah, you got the barrels on them.
Yeah, you've got the barrels, so you can't actually hold them and move them in that way. Although you can tilt them up and down, but why cheat? And that's why do that?
This is it.
It's ridiculous.
Ian said he used scientific models and tried and tested equipment methods.
No, I'm absolutely fine with gadgetry. It's the gimmicks that I'm not fine with. Gadgetry is absolutely fine. I mean, as you know, I'm a big member of the UK Shadow Seekers, so I'm all for technology. Don't worry. I'm a modern medium, as they say. But there's only a couple of things that I trust in. I mean, tarot cards, I trust in them, and palmistry. I mean, that's been proven scientifically. Yeah. So I do trust in that.
Good man, says Ian.
No, I'm not a technophobe. You're all right.
But like you say, the tarot cards is more a tool than anything else. It's a focus point rather than.
Yeah, tarot cards. Everybody that goes into clairvoyance should train on tarot cards, and I keep saying this to all the people that I've seen over the past. And tarot cards, if a medium uses tarot cards and he is a working medium or calls himself a working medium, tarot cards are basically a lazy tool.
Yeah.
It's laziness, pure laziness. They shouldn't be carrying tarot cards through that stage. I know a medium out there who's an international, in brackets, medium who solely uses tarot cards. He should be reading straight from spirit, not from a card. It's a lazy way of doing things, but people get into the habits. And
so as far as tarot cards are concerned, although a good tool, basically you don't have to be a sensitive or medium at all. You just need to know what the cards mean.
Yeah, you can read that from a book.
Yeah, there's a lot of them out there, isn't there?
But a good medium will give you more reference from the card, and will give you. You've got to use verification in mediumship. You've got to give proof. If you don't give proof, then you're not a very good medium. So you've got to verify things. So a good tarot reader will give names of family maybe, or names of relatives, or and they'll clarify each card. They won't just read it from a book. They'll give proof in there as well. If they don't, and they've just read it from the book, then that's absolutely ridiculous, and you're paying money to somebody who's a complete fake.
Yeah.
So Sue65 says she don't see the point of crystal balls.
No,
It's
neither do
poop.
I. It is poop. Yeah.
She says they're poop.
Yes, definitely.
I kind of agree with you there. They are nice objects, though. As an object,
as an ornament,
as
really
an
good.
ornament, yeah. And that's about as far as it goes as an ornament. But
here you go. Carly's trying to concentrate on trying to find her spirit guide.
okay,
Can you help her with that one?
I certainly can. What are you actually doing at the moment?
Carly, what are you doing to try and find your spirit guide?
Why is Sue gonna swear?
Can't swear, so I've got to keep it clean. Yes, Carly.
Yes, you, Carly.
What are you doing to try and find your spirit guide? Perhaps Neil can help you.
Yeah, that's what we're here to do if we can.
Maybe he can give you some guidance. Learning the meditation.
Okay, yeah, well that's good. That's the start to everything. Every good medium started with meditation now, and I'll say this over and over again, and I get to the point where how many times do I repeat this?
Yes, okay.
Meditation is the key to all good mediumship. Meditation is the building blocks of your spiritual awareness. You've got to be able to meditate and get the meditation right before you can build on anything else. So meditation is the foundation of your spiritual working.
Can you see him putting daggers in towards me on the webcam? Ian says, I have seen many methods of spirit guide location, had trouble finding mine.
Okay.
And Sue said, I did that once, it's the best feeling to meet your guide.
It is, yeah. There are people out there who've never met the guide, and yet they have a good working relationship with them. It doesn't necessarily mean you've got to meet them to work with them. Some guides prefer not to meet. So it might just be that case, Ian.
Me.
Yeah, you Ian.
Yeah, you, Ian.
Yeah,
Was Ian that said that?
Yeah.
Right, Ian said that he's had many methods for his spirit guides and had trouble finding them. Sue65 said she's got the best feeling meeting your guide.
Yeah.
But Carly's there.
I try to concentrate on my third eye. Just keep seeing demons of a door. Okay, so what I wanted to do next time,
Open it.
Exactly, Steve. Yeah, I wanted to concentrate on opening that door and walking through it. So that's your next step.
Somebody's just come in and said, hi guys, don't know who they are though.
Yeah. Well, okay. I mean, would I be right in saying that a big help in getting your meditation right is to get your breathing right in the first place?
No, breathing is not important at the moment with somebody that's beginning
Right.
to move in that way. I mean, you're stepping up a stage,
but
so you've got to get that right.
Yeah, but I find that kind of relaxes you.
Yeah,
as well.
I mean, it's always good to do some breathing exercises before meditation, because it does relax you, and it does get the blood travelling around the body a bit more. So if you do a good 10 breaths before your meditation, so a deep breath in, hold it for a couple of seconds, and then breathe out, and do that 10 times before your meditation, that does help.
Yes, why can't
you hear us? Sorry. We've got a few people coming now. Wuggy Kin, if you want to click on your name, you can change it. The other one was JJ. So, Johns, is that you? Not sure. Can see you though. We need you to hear us if possible. It's a lot better to hear us than watching us, to be honest with you.
It definitely is. It's very boring watching. We're talking, you can't hear us. I better type it in.
Yeah. So you do your psychic parties.
Yeah.
And you've had a few good things from that. We even had one last time you was here. You had a message come through thanking you for the information you gave them.
I did.
And it had come true.
Yes.
Is the question for you, Neil?
Okay.
Yeah, Sue65 says, have you got any tips? Because when I do the deep breathing, I go off to La La Land. I go too deep. Sometimes I have problems getting back.
Okay. Don't do the deep breathing. Cut it down. I mean, it's okay. Some people say, "Oh, I can't meditate because I dropped asleep."
Ian's just said the same thing.
Yeah, but that's absolutely fine. They will still work with you when you're asleep. And to be honest, a lot of the spiritual work that gets done to you is in your sleep. 99% of it is done in your sleep state because they've got full attention. So don't worry about falling asleep.
So,
well, JJ said it's not boring because you can see Mr. M.
So does that mean JJ is Jeanette?
Two and thanks, says Sue.
Is that Jeanette? Let's see. Because she calls you Mr. M, didn't she?
Yeah, Jeanette Jones.
So, which we're going to see soon sometime. Waiting for her to confirm that date. So, or was I supposed to be confirming the date? One of the two.
Not who I thought it was then.
I'm not sure, Ian. It could be who you thought it was. Yes, Sue. Hello. Right, okay. Right. Oh, God. That's my doctor's thing. So...
Turn your speakers.
Hey! Yeah, turn your speakers on, girl.
JJ.
Probably got a volume off on the laptop or something.
Well, she can probably hear us, so... I don't know.
No, she can't hear us.
No,
She can only see us.
can't hear us.
Right, okay. So, I was meant to have rang her, wasn't I?
Sometimes that's a good thing.
Yeah, sometimes. So... Oh,
Will this be on every Tuesday?
they are on. Who says that? No, every Wednesday. This is on every Wednesday. We're here every Wednesday, and we try and get people in from all walks of paranormal life to come in and talk to us. We've been contacting people about UFOs. We've had cryptozoology on. We've got Steve Mera coming back in to talk more about investigations and black cats and stuff like that. That was a good interview that we had. Later on, as I say, we've got Peter Wall coming on the phone with past life regression. Next week we've got Wendy Calloway from Southern Paranormal. She's going to be talking to us about her experiences and what her team do. I'm just seeing when Steve's on actually again. He's on the 6th of June, so he'll be back with us then. And again in October, I think it is.
And Wendy will be able to tell us how she felt about Brand in Romania.
Yes, because
she was one of the people that went with us.
She did come to Bran Castle with us, and
Ian, start saving because we're going back next year.
Yeah.
Yes, me.
Yeah, we've got Ian on Tuesdays, and don't forget, if you want to be on your own paranormal show, I'm sure Ian can sort something out for you. It was something that Paul wanted. He wanted people to do paranormal radio on the Spooky Radio channel. So let's see whether we can get some more shows on here. What do you say, Ian?
Yeah, that's what we need.
It is what we need. See what we can do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll get Sue to PM you all the details for it, Ian.
Yes, I'll do that.
Yes.
So, what we're going to do is...
Believe it or not, we're down to 15 places left already.
How many paranormal news items have you got here, sweetheart?
There's 3, I think.
3. Well, what we'll do is we'll have a break for the paranormal news, and then after that we'll give Peter a ring and see what he's got to tell us about past life regression.
You see, we're all psychic here.
I will. I appear to be answering questions before.
Welcome to my world, Ian.
Yeah, JJ can hear us now.
Good. Right, we're going to do the paranormal news, and as I say, then we'll ring up Peter and talk to him. Warn you now, he has got a bit of a cold, so he might be coughing a bit. Okay, so...
yeah, and while we're doing that, I shall refresh my drink.
Yes, so it's over to the paranormal news. Thank you.
The Brown Lady of Raynham. Raynham Hall in Norfolk, England, is most famous for the ghost of the Brown Lady, which was captured on film in 1936 in what is considered to be one of the most authentic pictures ever taken. The unexplained site describes one of the first encounters of the spirit. The first known sighting happened during the 1835 Christmas season. Colonel Loftus, who was visiting for a holiday, was walking to his room late one night when he saw a strange figure ahead of him. He tried to gain a better look. The figure promptly disappeared. The next week the colonel came again upon the woman. He described her as a noble woman who wore a brown satin dress. Her face seemed to glow, which highlighted her empty eye sockets. Grandfather's goodbye in a dream. I had a strange experience when I was 13, says Matthew. At the time my granddad was sound, 65-year-old in seemingly good health, working every day in his large garden and orchard. Usually I don't remember my dreams, or if I do, they are very vague recollections. The evening this happened, I had an awakened from a very vivid dream by the phone ringing. At around 2 in the morning, I still remember the strange dream. I awoke from extremely well, although it was 13 years ago. In my dream, I was in the elementary school I attended when younger. A bunch of my classmates were there. We got in the library. We sat down in the brightly coloured plastic chairs they had. At the front of the centre of the aisle was a large bronze-looking coffin sitting on top of the movable reference island they had in their library. A person came into the library. I knew it was my grandfather somehow, although he appears to be nothing but empty loose beige wrappings like a mummy. He came and talked to me. I don't remember exactly what he said, but it had something to do with being okay, and I'm happy for him. After that, he climbed into the coffin and was shutting the lid when the phone woke me up from my dream. I answered the phone, and it was my grandparents' next-door neighbour. He told me my granddad was very sick and I had to wake up my parents. The next morning before school, they told me he had died from a severe heart attack around the first time the neighbour was calling us. It still gives me goosebumps when I think about it today. And now a missing earring dream. The incident took place in May 2007, reports Janet. I just got home from work and went to my bedroom to change into something more comfortable. I was taking off my earrings and I dropped one on the floor. I looked everywhere for it and even used a flashlight. I went to bed that night and had a dream that I got down on my knees and saw the missing earring under my dresser against the wall. When I woke up the next morning, I remembered the dream from the night before. I got down on my knees and looked under the dresser, and there was my missing earring. Call it premonition or ESP, but I thought it was the neatest thing. I've never had an experience like that before. That was a neat report, Janet. So was it premonition dream? Or an indication that our consciousness extends outside the body and the brain capable of discovering knowledge previously unknown? There have been many cases in which people have been able to work out problems in their dreams that they were unable to do while they was awake.
Hi, I'm Neil Munnerley, and I'm proud to be keeping the paranormal friendly.
Yeah, welcome back to the show. I'm Suzanne.
And I'm Steve.
And this is Neil. And he's live in the hub with us, and we'll be talking to him a bit more in a bit. And you'll be hearing a bit more from him too. I'm going to ring up Peter Wall in a bit, just to give you an idea. Peter Wall is a clinical hypnotherapist. He's what I call a dip hip-ish and LNCP. DIP, he always got letters.
Yeah, lots of letters.
Have you lived before? He's there to explore past life regression, and he takes you back into your past life to explore it. Why do people have a past life regression session? Well, these are some of the questions we'll be talking about and be asking him. I'll just get him on the phone. So please remember, you cannot call during this conversation because I've only got one line. But if you would like to ask questions via the chat room, we can relay them to Peter. But please remember, he has got a bit of a cold, so I'm going to ring him now, so bear with me.
Can I have a leaflet when you finish that? I'll put it on. What's it?
Hi Peter, it's Suzanne. Yes, I'm going to put you live on the air, okay? Okay, by the phone. Right, okay. Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is Peter Wall. He resides in the Barnsley area, is that right?
I do, yes, in South Yorkshire.
And you are a past life regressionist.
I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, and one of the things I specialise in is past life regression, yes.
Okay. Can everybody hear him okay in the chat room? 2 seconds. I'm just making sure they can hear you okay.
Speak to us, guys.
Yeah, speak to us in the chat room, please. Tell us that you can hear him. Yes,
Yes.
good. That's fine. Okay, right then, Peter. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself first and how you got into it?
Well, I'm a clinical hypnotherapist. I have been for about 10 years now. I got into hypnosis, clinical hypnosis, by accident, really. I was at a Mind, Body and Spirit fair in Ilkley back in 2000, the year 2000. I met a guy there called Brian Glenn, who was an instructor in clinical hypnosis, and I actually signed on to his course and joined him. A year later, I qualified as a clinical hypnotherapist, and in 2005, I opened my own clinic here in Barnsley. So,
Right. And you do past life?
I do past life regression, yes.
Yeah. We've seen that at the MBSs. You have quite a few people come through to see you.
Yeah, I travel around the country, as you know, doing the MBS events, both here and abroad. I've worked in Benidorm, Mind, Body and Spirit Fens over there. That's quite interesting. I've also worked in Germany on the military bases doing past life regression over there. And I've also worked in Jersey as well, doing the MBS events over there.
So what is past life regression? What's it all about?
It's about taking people back into the lives that they've had before this one. There are 3 different types of regression that people can experience. There is regression, where we take people back into their childhood. There's past life regression, where we take people back beyond that into the lives that they've had before this one. And then there is progression, where we can allow you to go into the lives that you've yet to come.
Right, okay. And why do people want to do this sort of thing?
Well, there's several reasons why people want to be regressed. Sometimes it's just pure curiosity. You know, they've heard about it and they want to try and have an experience of it. Some people just want a sense of completeness, knowing more of who they were in past lives, etc. Some people have it done just for they get deja vu. You know, when you go into a place and you think, I just feel as though I've been here before, and yet I've never visited this area. And it can be a memory from a past life.
Carly said, can you have both?
Some people are actually scared of dying. I know I used to be one of those people. I used to be actually terrified of the thought of dying. Whereas now, dying doesn't bother me as much, because dying is a part of what happens to us humans. But I know, in my heart of hearts, that I'll probably come back and experience another life, and so on and so on.
Right, I've got a question for you. I'm not quite sure what the question is, but she says, can you have both done? What do you mean both done?
I think she means progression and past life.
Oh, right. Can you have progression and past life done?
What, at the same time?
Yes.
Well, you could do, yes. I mean, there would be two separate sessions, obviously. First of all, we take you back into either well, you could either have the progression done first, and then after a small break, you can come back and do the regression.
Right, okay.
There's a thing called, I don't know if people understand how it works, but there's a thing called the space-time continuum.
Okay, would you like to explain a bit about it?
Yeah, the space-time continuum, you've probably heard it on Star Trek and things like space films.
Uh-huh.
And basically what it means, if you imagine a circle in front of you, okay, spinning around and around, and that's your life now, your circle of life.
Mm-hmm.
And at one side of this circle, and interwound into it, there's another circle, and these are all the lives you've had. And then on the other side of the circle, there's another circle spinning around, and these are all the lives that you've yet to come. So it's a bit like the Olympic rings, you know, where they link together?
Yeah.
And so if you imagine, if we start at the top of the middle ring, we can drop down to one side and then go into the other ring, which is your past lives, and experience things from there. If we start the other way, we can drop down that circle and go into the other circle, into the lives that you've yet to come.
Right.
It's called progression.
Right, I see. Ian Lawrence wants...
Progression. In the 10 years I've been a hypnotherapist, I've probably done 3 or 4.
Right.
People do ask me, but I tend to not want to do it really, because to me it's not something that's researchable.
Right.
Because obviously there's no evidence for it yet. Whereas with regression, the things you tell me, the kind of questions I ask you under regression, are designed so that if ever you wanted to go away and research it, you can do. So I'll try and get your full name, where you live. If it's the 1800s when we had post, well, you would have had an address. So I'll try and get that out of you. If you're a child, I will try to get your parents' names, your father's name in particular, what he does for a living, so that you can go back and research these things and go and find yourself back in time. And as you know, because I think you've been to one of my talks, haven't you?
Yes.
And I do talk and I do a PowerPoint presentation and I show people some of the things that people have found out when they're being regressed and they've done some research, and it's quite fascinating. I mean, I'm like everybody else. I'm very sceptical at first when I first started.
Yeah.
You know, and I thought, well, these people are just making up. It's like a story they're telling me, you know. But when they go away and research and they actually find these things do exist, then I had to start to change my mindset and start thinking, well, hello, there's something in this. And after 10 years, I strongly believe that the memories that people are giving me, the memories that they're telling me, are actually past lives, because of the amount of research they've done. It's a bit like if I was to say to you, can you remember when you was a little girl?
Yeah.
And you used to go on holiday, and I would say to you, where did you go? And you might say, Bournemouth. And I would say things like, well, did you go to a caravan? Did you go in a tent? Did you go in a hotel? Oh, I went to a caravan. And did you have your own room? Yes, no, I had to share with my sister. How old were you then? I was about 8. And so really, all we've done is we've just gone back all those years when you were 8, and you're just telling me exactly everything that was there. And so that's like regression. We just go beyond that into the subconscious part of the mind where everything's stored, and then we just bring it back.
Yeah. Ian says he wants to go right back. He said he has odd dreams and wish to see relevance. Carly says, How much would it cost? Would it be for both? She wants to go right back to the past life, but have insight into the future.
Right.
Can that be possible?
Anything's possible.
Okay.
My fee, the moment that I charge is £60.
On the multiverse.
Right. What was that? Your fee is how much?
My fee at the moment is £60.
Is that for both or just one?
No, that would be for the session.
Okay.
And so in that session, if somebody wanted to go into a past life, we'd take them into a past life, and then we'd take them into the future life. So we'd do that in the session, and that's how much I would charge.
Right, okay. Ian says it's a variation of a multiverse theory. Does that sound feasible?
Could you repeat that?
Ian said a variation of a multiverse theory. Does that sound feasible to you?
A multiverse
Theory.
The multiverse theory, what does that mean?
What you were saying about the rings, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's just a different name for it then, is it?
Right, maybe. Carly says she has her reasons, but she does need a bit of guidance. Ian says, I have been having very real daydream thoughts, which weren't mine.
Okay. You see, you don't have to have hypnosis to be regressed, because I don't know if your listeners are aware that hypnosis is only a form of relaxation, that's all it is.
Right, okay.
Okay, there's nothing mystical or magical about hypnosis. It is only relaxation. And so if you think about it, any form of relaxation, like meditation for instance, when you go to sleep, all of these things you can actually access your past lives. Some people dream past lives. Some people have recurring dreams. Sometimes a recurring dream that keeps coming back night after night. Sometimes it's something that you may have a problem you may have had in a past life that you've not resolved, and your subconscious is reminding you through your dream state that you haven't resolved it.
Right.
Until you go back and resolve it, then the dreams stop.
We are putting your details on the chat room for people to, because we've had a couple on there that said, like, consider me booked. So and we'll ask you again later.
Yeah.
All the details. We've got Neil with us, our medium. He'd like to have a word with you if that's okay.
Yeah, no problem.
He's got a question for you. Turn your mic on and put that close to it. 2 seconds. 1, 2. I think that's on. 1, 2.
Yeah.
Can you hear me okay?
I can.
Hi, Peter.
Hi.
Just a quick one. Well, I say a quick one. Going back to my 18th birthday many, many years ago, I was sat with my mum. We'd had a few to drink and we were talking about past, etc., as you do when you've had a couple of drinks.
Yeah.
And we were getting a little bit of, emotional and stuff like that, as you do after a couple of drinks. And I brought up a couple of memories that I had when I was a child. And one of them in particular was a trip we had to the Isle of Man, which was a weekend holiday. And she took me and my brother. Well, we went with my mum and my dad, but me and my brother went along, and I explained absolutely everything and described everything about this holiday, the weekend. The ferry, even down to the seasick tablets that she took on the ferry. I could describe the weather when we went and caught the ferry. I could describe the hotel and the foyer and everything that we did over that weekend. I could absolutely, completely describe to her in very, very minute detail. Mm-hmm. And as I was talking away and told her this, she was sort of sat there and she sort of gone a bit white. And she basically turned around and said to me, you weren't even born then, you were conceived on that holiday. So I was just wondering what your thoughts were on that, because I've still got them memories in my head, and to me, I was looking back, I was a child of about 2 years old.
Right.
So that's.
Well, there are some interesting theories that sometimes what we find is that some spirits choose their parents. Yeah, like some children will say, "I chose you, mummy."
Yeah.
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 And so, if you usually what it is, it's the life you've just left. So if you was about 2 years old in your previous life when you died, and you decide to come back very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what you could have done is you could have chosen your parents, but seen what they were doing.
Right. Okay.
And then you were obviously conceived on that holiday.
Right, I've got you.
That's why you were aware of it. It's because in spirit you could see what was happening. And you know about that, being a medium. You know that spirits can see what they're around you and they can see what you're doing and things like this.
Yeah.
And so my take on that would be that because you felt you was about 2 years old in your previous life, the one that you just had before you now, is you was probably 2 years old when you died, around that age.
Yeah.
That's why you felt that you were that age when you were looking and seeing your next family.
Right. I mean, you've got exactly the same take as me on that. I mean, we had a chat about this last week, didn't we, Sue? Yeah. And you know the little test you do on the side of your hand to see how many lives you've had in the past. I've actually had 2 lives in the past. One of them being, obviously, I died very, very young, which would obviously relate to the 2-year-old.
Did you have a very short line on your hand?
It was very, very short, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
And sort of my take on that is that was my new soul, or should I say my old soul, coming back as a reincarnation back into that family, you know, from passing over as that 2-year-old. And so really I've got the same take on that.
There you go.
Interesting.
It is, isn't it? I love the subject. I think it's absolutely fascinating.
Well, thanks for that, Peter. I'll pass you back over to Sue.
Interested, but I mean, I'm not a spiritual medium or anything like that, but I actually regressed this lady, and she was in this house, and there was other people there, lots of people in this house, like a party going off, and she was describing everything that was there, and so I kept asking her name, and she couldn't tell me her name, so I said, go and ask somebody what your name is. Yeah?
Yeah.
And she said, they won't tell me. And so I said, well, go and ask them what they call this place. And she started getting really frustrated, you know, her face was changing, and you could see the anxiousness on her face.
Yeah.
She says, they're ignoring me, they won't talk to me. And I suddenly twigged. I said, can they see you? And she says, I don't know. I don't think they can. And it was like she was there, but they didn't know she was there.
Right.
And so I thought, hang on, she's in spirit here.
Yeah.
And so I asked her why she was there, and she was looking for her son.
Right.
And she said, my son, I've got to find my son, he's here somewhere.
Yeah.
And she said she'd been looking for him for a long time. And so I figured out that she was actually in spirit, because that's why other people couldn't see her.
Yeah, yeah.
She was getting really frustrated.
Yeah.
And I said to her, you know, why don't you go to do you know where the light is, the bright light? She said, I'm not going there. No, I want you to go to the light. She said, no, I've got to stay here, I've got to find my son.
Yeah, exactly.
And I told her that if she really wanted to find her son, the son was on the other side of that light waiting for her.
Right.
And she went, and she said, I'm going now. And I said, okay, it's okay to go.
Yeah.
And this woman's face just changed completely. She just went straight back into hypnosis. She just sunk back into a chair. She had this nice look over her face. And I just brought her out of it. And she just, I feel absolutely amazing now. And so, you see, even when I regress people, it doesn't mean to say that they're actual living beings when I regress them. They could be in spirit.
Yeah, exactly. It's very, very interesting how the two subjects can come, you know, so close together there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's very interesting, that, Peter. I'm going to hand you over to Sue anyway.
Okay.
Okay, thanks for talking. Thanks.
No problem.
Hi, Peter. While you've been talking there, we've had a few things come on the chat room where people have actually corresponded with what Neil's been saying. Ian said he's had exactly the same feelings. I have had memories. Hold on, it's just jumped up. Where's it gone? He's had memories of a holiday that he went to with his mum when he was young, and he remembered going down a water slide and drowning. Obviously this couldn't have happened, but I truly believed it did. We've also had Carly. She said, I used to have arguments with my mum when I was young, as I remembered going down. Oh, so that was her that went down a water slide. Sorry, she went down a slide. Yeah, sorry, it's because it's jumped up. Ian said he remembered the holiday with the mum we went on before I was born. I described the hotel, the smells, etc., the places too, beach rides, and gave her the name of the hotel owner. And you know, basically, he wasn't even born at the time. He says earlier, I can just find it. He said, so would you think that a spirit entity could actually be the daydream of a person in a future life, looking back upon a place in a timescape you are in at the present? Could that be possible?
Well,
It's a theory.
the theory is, I mean, one thing that I experienced, which I've always done all my life, ever since I was very young, is in my dream state, I've dreamt things, and then a few years later I've been in
They can't hear it now, babe.
and it suddenly twigs straight back again. Yeah?
Right, okay.
And even today, I still dream about things. Even the other day, we went to this hotel, and we were having problems logging in. And the guy was apologising, was very frustrated because the system wasn't working properly. He said, I'm going to have to do it manually. And I smiled to myself because I thought, I've already dreamt that.
Yeah.
So if I'm dreaming these things, and I've done it all my life, then what I'm actually doing is I'm actually seeing the future. Because what I'm doing is I'm dreaming about the future, even though I'm not there.
Right.
And then a few years later, I'm in that situation, and it's like deja vu then.
Yeah.
I know what that person's about to say. I know what my answer is going to be because I dreamt it.
Yeah. It's a very interesting subject.
I'm actually seeing the future.
It is a very interesting subject and something that people do get intrigued about, don't they?
Yeah.
You know, hence people like you come along and help them
How to do it.
show them how to do it. But
There is one thing I'd like to say, if I may,
yeah.
is that the way I work with my clients,
Uh-huh.
right, there are things I will not do.
Okay.
One thing I will not do with my clients is take them to their death.
No.
Now, I stipulated this when I very first started,
Mhm.
is I will not take you to your death. Already, some people in your chat room have said that they were there. They could smell it, they
Yeah.
could feel it, they could feel the breeze on their face,
Uh-huh.
they could, I felt the ship rocking from side to side. I was actually physically, everything I experienced. And this is why I will not take you to your death.
No.
Because your subconscious doesn't know fact from fantasy. It doesn't know what's real and what's not. And so if you're seeing yourself on a ship, you'll know what it feels like to be on that ship, especially if it's in a rough sea.
Yeah.
And so imagine what it would feel like if you could smell things, feel things. Yeah? Imagine what it would feel like if you were being burnt alive at the stake.
Yes.
You would feel the heat. You would feel the pain.
Yes.
You would smell your flesh burning.
Precisely.
This is why I do not take you to your death. Now, some people have written books about inner life experiences, and they say you need to go through your death to get to your inner life experience.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, but I disagree very strongly.
Hmm.
Because I can take you to that inner life. I can take you to that place called heaven, Mecca, the resting place, whatever you want to call it. I can take you there without having to go through your death. Because your subconscious was there, your spirit was there, it knows what it is, and it knows how to get there.
Hmm.
And you do not need to go through your death to get to experience what it's like to be in that celestial place.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make that point, is that when I work with my clients, no matter what it's for progression or past life progression, I will not allow them to go to their death.
No.
I will not allow them to go anywhere nasty, horrible or bad. So in other words, I will not allow you to go to any wars, dying of some horrible disease, being tortured in a dungeon, having your head chopped off in France, or anything like that. I do not allow you to experience those things. I want you to enjoy the experience and not be traumatized by it.
This is it. Now, when people think of hypnotherapist, they think of a lot of negative things.
They do,
You know,
definitely.
Stage stuff and being a chicken.
I get people coming to my clinic and I say, you look absolutely terrified. What are you scared of? And they say, oh, my friend says you're going to mess about with my brain now. No, I'm not. You're going to have me running around like a chicken. Well, do you want me to have you running around like a chicken? No. Well, then I won't. I'm not a stage hypnotist. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist.
Yeah.
And so some people have got some very strange ideas what hypnosis is. Right at the very beginning of our talk, I did say to you, or I said to your listeners, that hypnosis is only a form of relaxation.
Yes.
People say to me, can I be hypnotized? Well, can you relax? Yeah, well, of course you can be hypnotized then. Because that's all it is. If all of your listeners listening to me now close their eyes.
Mhm. Close your eyes, everyone.
Close your eyes. wherever you're doing, just close as long as it's safe to do so, obviously. If you're driving, don't. Yeah? And so if it's safe to do so, just close your eyes. Now, can you still hear my voice?
Mhm.
Are you still aware of where you are and everything around you?
Yeah.
Can you hear the noises where you are and all the sounds around you?
Mhm.
Open your eyes.
Mhm.
Exactly what it feels like to be hypnotized. It's no different to that, apart from you are physically more relaxed, and that's all it is.
Right. Because obviously people do have theories that if they get hypnotised, you could ask for numbers and stuff like that.
Well, you see, again, you know, people, when they see me at the Mind, Body and Spirit fairs and they see my stand where it says past life regression, and I hear them talking, they say things like, oh, yes, I've always wanted that done.
Yeah.
And I say to them, what's stopping you? Oh, I'm sorry, but I've got to be in control, me, you know. I can't have you controlling me. I've got to be in control at all times. Well, I say to them, well, that's ever so strange, because what you're actually telling me then is if I hypnotise you, I can control you and make you do things. Really.
Yeah.
Well, if a hypnotist could control you and make you do things, we'd all be very rich by now, wouldn't we?
Well, this is it.
Because now we'd be going into banks and hypnotising bank managers to give us all as much money as we needed. Because we can control them and make them do it. It's not true. It's a load of rubbish. No hypnotist can control you in any way, shape or form. All they can do is give you a suggestion. It's up to you whether you do it or not. Even a stage hypnotist can't make you do anything you don't want to do.
Right, okay. Somebody said, so to be hypnotised to overcome a fear, is this a load of bunkum? Is it just
Not at all.
relaxing?
You see, a fear is something you create.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're not born with a fear. It's something that you create. Fear, F-E-A-R, stands for future events appearing real. And so if you're scared of heights, for instance, and you start going up a ladder, as soon as you put your foot on that first run, already you're creating an image in your mind that you're going to fall off. You're going to hit the floor, you're going to break your arm or your leg, and you're going to be in absolute agony. Well, you haven't even started climbing up yet. And so what you've done is created a future event in your mind, right, that's dangerous, and you haven't even started climbing. And so your subconscious then makes your body react accordingly to take you out of that danger zone. In other words, it won't allow you to climb the ladder because your foot starts to shake, your body shakes, you feel sick, and it will do everything to make you come away from it, to take you out of what it thinks is going to harm you.
Yeah.
And so what you're doing is you're creating a future event in your mind that hasn't really happened.
It's the same with dentists and
Flying.
stuff like that.
You know, people who won't even go on a plane because they're scared of flying. Because it might crash. Well, it might not.
Yeah.
You just ruined yourself a nice holiday.
Yeah.
But you see, in their mind, they see it crashing, they see him burning to death, they see him dying. But you see, it hasn't really happened, does it?
No, no.
And so that's what a fear is. And under hypnosis, obviously, we can just change the way you think about it. So we can say, well, look at it in this situation.
Yeah.
You see, remember what I said about your subconscious? It doesn't know fact from fantasy. It doesn't know what's real and what's not. And your subconscious wants to protect you and keep you safe. And so if, for instance, going up a ladder is terrifying to you, well, at some stage in your life, you'll have fallen off a ladder. Well, maybe when you was a child and you got hurt. And because you had that experience, then as you got older, that experience is now so big and dramatic that you just can't even go up a ladder.
Mm.
And so my job is to talk to the subconscious part of your mind and say, well, look, you only got a little scratch. It wasn't that dangerous. You can do it. There's no logical reason why you should be afraid of it. And once the subconscious is aware of it, then it just changes it.
Right. Steve wanted to ask you a question. What was it?
How long is the session?
Well, first of all, how long is a session?
The first session with me is usually about an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on what you're coming for.
Uh-huh.
Past life regression sessions are usually about an hour. Excuse me, chest is kicking up.
Okay.
Past life regression sessions are usually about an hour and a half. So it just depends what you're coming for. But that's usually about the length of time.
Yeah.
Now, for my clinical work, when people come for fears, phobias, stopping smoking, these kind of things, I never tell them how many sessions they need because each person that sits in front of me is totally different. And they respond differently to it. And so I leave that up to my client. So if somebody comes to me for a fear, I'll give them 100% of what I can do on that first session. And 99.9 times I've worked with people, nobody's ever come. Well, I've had probably one person that came back in the 10 years and said it didn't work, and so we had to do it again. Because usually I can get rid of a fear just within that hour.
Right.
And I've had great success with that.
And once you've been hypnotised, is it easy enough to do it again?
Well, it's like everything, isn't it? The more you practice it, the better you become at it.
Right.
It's like meditation, isn't it? When
Yeah.
you first sit down to go into a meditation class or something, you struggle with it. But after a while of practicing, you become quite good at it.
Right.
And it's like everything else. It's all about, you need to trust the person you're with, obviously. This is why whenever I advertise myself anywhere, I always put my photograph on it.
Yes.
If you don't like the look on my face, if you don't like the look of me, then don't come, because it won't work, because you also won't feel comfortable with me.
Yeah.
So I'm a great believer in that first impressions count.
Mm-hmm.
So, try and choose somebody that you're comfortable with. You need to have faith in them of what they're doing. I have certain principles that I adhere myself to. I'm a licensed to the National Council of Psychotherapy, so I work to their code of conduct. And so, there are things, like I said, that I won't do, and the things that I will do.
Right, and you're based at the Cawthorne Hypnotherapy Clinic, yeah?
Yeah, Cawthorne Hypnotherapy Clinic. Cawthorne is a little village just on the outskirts of Barnsley, near Wakefield side, more on Wakefield side. There's a big country park there. There's a stately home called Cannon Hall.
Mm-hmm.
It was owned by Lord Spencer, and the village Cawthorne, he built that for his workers. And my clinic is in a little crofter's cottage. There's the first room you come into is like the reception. Used to be this chap's living room.
Right.
And then up the stairs, little wooden staircase, is the clinic, and that used to be his bedroom. And at the back of it, there is a little kitchen and a toilet. And that's what somebody lived in for 50 years before I took it over.
Really?
Yeah, it's just one up, one down, and it's a cute little stone cottage with ivy around it. It's quite nice.
Mm.
And you can see it on my website. If you go onto my website, which is www.innerlight-hypnosis.com, and then click on clinics, and you'll actually see a photograph of it.
Right. So, and you're not a stranger to the paranormal world, though, are you? Really?
No, I'm not a stranger to the paranormal world. No, I used to help a friend of mine called Darren Stanton, who used to do what you do.
Yes.
And so I used to help him at the lawns in Lincoln, is particularly the one I remember the most, because that's one that freaked me out and made me run out. When I had quite a weird experience in there. So yes, on his ghost nights and things, so I used to help him. So yes, I do know a little bit about that.
And your wife's a medium as well?
She does spiritual counselling, as she calls it.
Right.
The mediumship. Excuse me. She does readings with cartouche cards, which are the Egyptian symbols.
Uh-huh.
But she doesn't do tarot.
No.
She does counselling on any issues that you may have in this life, and she uses the cartouche cards to guide you into which direction you should be going. But if anything does come through spiritually, if she does get anything that comes through, then she usually tells the person that's sitting in front of them.
Right. So I've got a list of your events here that's coming up. Where are we? In May. May, you've done that one. So June, you're in Lincoln Showground.
Yeah, June, the Epic Centre in Lincoln Showground. If anybody wants to bob along and see me there, I'm giving a talk there on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
At, I think it's 11 o'clock. It's either 10:30 or 11, I can't remember.
Right, okay. And you're at quite a few MBSs, aren't you? Most of them.
Yeah. God Manchester.
Yeah.
That's a new event. I haven't been to that one before, so that should be quite interesting.
Right. And you've got one in Leeds at the Centenary Pavilion.
Yes.
In July, and the Grimsby Auditorium in July as well.
Yeah.
So,
Eltica Heritage Centre in August. I mean, that's a big event.
Yes.
If anybody wants to bob along to that one. Again, I give a talk there at 11 o'clock on the Saturday. And what I do in my talk is I explain the myths and misconceptions surrounding hypnosis, past lives, why we do it, and the different kinds of past lives there are, which are regressions that I've already mentioned.
Yeah.
And I talk about the research that people have done in more detail.
Right, okay. So, well, thanks for talking to us. Get well soon.
Thank you.
And
If anyone
hopefully...
asks me any questions, you can always email me. Have you got my email address?
Yeah, peterwall@blueyonder.co.uk.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Okay, I'll put all the details on the chat room for anyone to contact you. A couple of people were interested in booking a session with you.
Okie dokie.
Okay, my love, thanks very much. Give my love to Di.
I will.
And hopefully I'll see you soon.
Yeah, take care. Good
Thanks
night,
a lot,
everybody.
Peter. Good night, bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, that was Peter Wall, ladies and gentlemen. I've known him for quite some time. I've met him quite a few times at the MBSs, and very popular guy. So, you know, if you ever want to have a word with him, you can ask him questions, as you said, at Peter Wall, that's WALL, at blueyonder.co.uk. His website is all the W's.innerlight-hypnosis.com. Okay, I'll get Steve to type this out and put it on the...
Alternatively, you can just scroll back, because I put it on there a little bit earlier.
I'd put it on again because you might not be able to scroll back some of it.
Okay, I will. If you give me the pamphlet, I'll write it on.
Okay, so that was Peter. So what we're going to do now is we've got Neil back with us.
Hi guys, can I just give a major shout out to my mate Frapper if he's listening. I've known this guy for, must be around 27 years. Don't see him very often, but he's a great guy. Just want to say hi to him. Hi Frap.
Hi Frap. So he's come on to see you. So anyway, as I say, hi Frap, says JJ. Did you wave to JJ? She wanted you to wave to her. So I'll ring you soon, JJ, and confirm the that date with you in June. Okay, I'm assuming that that's a definite. Okay, so what we'll do is we're going to have a break. I'm going to leave the paranormal events for now because I'd like to do this other one, if you don't mind, if I can do it and it don't mess up. As I said before, as most of you know, we lost Paul recently, who actually run Spooky Radio with Ian, and also who's dealing with Battlefield Paranormal. And I just need to find it here. It's just a little segment that I put together of pictures and stuff with his interview that he gave us back in March. Very poignant is the word, regarding keeping the paranormal friendly and everything, and everything else. And if you just listen to what he has to say about his beliefs, how he got into it, and what his plans are, and we're hoping to fulfill some of these. So I'm going to leave you with this. Enjoy. Hello. No swearing. I'm about to put you live on air. Okay, give me 2 seconds.
Yes, we are live, not on Channel 4.
Yeah, we are live, not on Channel 4.
Oh, that's a shame.
Right, okay. Did Richard come over okay, by the way?
Oh yeah, it came over really good.
Oh, that's good then.
Really enjoyable.
Good, that's what we want.
Yeah, I wanted to ask him if werewolves drag the bums on the carpet.
Oh dear. I don't know. Well, he's on Facebook if you want to ask him.
He probably hit me.
Okay, well, this is Paul Reed, mine host, that's the best way to call him, because he deals with Spooky Radio. Can you tell us a bit about yourself first, Paul?
Well, basically, I was sort of like, I had a partner who passed away a few years ago, and I think I was just like looking for answers to questions, and so I got into filming paranormal groups to do, just doing videos for them and trying to get them, doing a bit of promotion, that type of thing. And I was with another group in Lancashire, shall we say Lancashire Hauntings, and they were doing stuff, and I thought, well, I moved to a different part of Bolton called Horwich, and there was somebody there who said to me, would you mind popping down the shop down here? I said, yeah, I don't mind doing that, because I do a bit of community TV as well. So it's more care of the community TV. So I said I'll pop down there, and it was for a psychic supper, and it was thoroughly enjoyable. And so I stayed back from having readings for a bit, and I thought, well, I want to try and keep a balanced mind on it all, but I just couldn't resist. I had to just do it. So I thought, okay, right, I'll do this psychic night, and I'll have a reading done. And I was advised to do an awareness course. And I thought, hold on, I want to try and keep my objectivity. But with the different people I was having different readings with, the same thing kept coming up. We're being told you've got to do an awareness course. So I did an awareness course, and it sort of like just opened a whole new area for me. And it's been absolutely fantastic.
Great. And you've decided to do this Battlefield Paranormal?
Yeah, it was a bit of a strange one, this one. It was a bit Wayne's World 2, really. I don't know if you guys have seen Wayne's World 2.
It's been a few
years. The only thing that was missing was Jim Morrison and a naked Indian. It was just like, I was talking with Ian. I talked to a friend before about going to a battlefield and doing stuff, and the idea was there. And I talked to Ian from Ian Lawrence from over Rotherham way, and he goes, yeah, the idea of that, it was like, you know that old Tango advert where that orange guy comes up and slaps you in the face?
Yeah.
It was just like that. It was bang, there's the idea. Oh, hold on, what was that? And it was like...
I would so love to do that to somebody.
It was really bizarre that it was all of a sudden this, I'll get a feeling, put it out to other people. I'll put it out, and people said, that sounds like a crazy idea, we like it, we'll get on board. And that's how it grew. So now we've got 16 paranormal teams. We've got some more paranormal teams who are coming along on the night. So, and we've got the general public as well. The other thing is we wanted it free for everybody, because we wanted the paranormal groups to give something back to their followers. So they go, because people who have followed them, they spend money with them, why shouldn't they have a freebie? And this gives them a chance to give them that experience, and also might entice people who don't normally go into it because they're thinking, oh crikey, that's a bit expensive, or that's a bit far to travel, or all the other excuses. It knocks all that down because you're saying it's free, come along, it's not going to hurt you. So it gives the groups a chance to give back to the people who spend money and pay money to go on there and invest. So
this is it.
As Ian just said, it also gives the teams a chance to work together.
I mean, it's even started this radio thing up, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, this is it. And like Steve said, Hauntastic, is that Ian? He said, yeah, he said it gives teams a chance to work together.
Exactly. One of the things you normally hear about is one team moaning about another team.
I know.
And you'll hear it, oh, they do this, they do that, And so nobody thinks, hold on, that team, no, the teams don't want to work together. And I'm saying, hold on, they can do. And I think they can even support each other.
Yeah.
We're proving that.
This is it.
The most important thing about this whole damn event is that it's showing that teams can work together and support each other.
It's not just that. We can learn from each other because we all do something different.
Well, that's it. You're sharing ideas. You're sharing lots of other things as well. You know, there might be a technique no one's heard. You know, another team uses which others don't.
Well, this is it. Yeah. So, and you've got Ian there with his van. Rent a van, as I call it.
Rent a van. Yeah.
So, but he's laughing now. So, but if any teams out there wants to rent Ian and his van, he's got loads of gadgets, hasn't he, Paul?
Yep. If they see, the other thing is with it, if they, he's got all the equipment in there. So if you're also wanting to do a technical investigation with all the equipment and stuff, you can do that. And it's not astronomical. I mean, it's cheaper than having a celebrity.
This is it. And you can maybe live stream to your members as well.
Yeah, well, that's it. The other thing is, we can then live stream it on Spooky Radio.
Yes. Yes, Spooky Radio. Where did that come from?
I think that was a case of Ian was doing a show once a week, and I was on a Tuesday, and it was getting a few people, and he also used to do like the guy ghost hunts as well. And Ian was both thinking the same thing basically. Ian goes, it's not being utilised really. So the idea was, we got the bricks of the different teams with a thingy, and after the event, the last thing I wanted is the teams sort of splitting up and not talking to each other again. And so this gives a chance for the teams to still work together.
And it's not just us on the radio, is it? There's 2 more shows that I know of, and obviously you're hoping that people will come on and do their own as well.
Well, that's it. What we'd like to have is all UK VJs, all dealing with all active within the paranormal world. Not some of the ones that sort of like come on and say, they read a couple of books and watched a couple of episodes of Buffy.
Yeah.
These are people who are in the know. They work with it all the time. So this gives them a chance so they can do their own show like yourselves. The sky's the limit.
This is it. This is it. So, and hopefully after the paranormal, Battlefield Paranormal, the teams that do actually turn up will be friendly after the event as well.
I'm sure that many of the teams will probably keep in contact with each other.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping for, not just one-hit wonders. So, but I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will, really.
Yeah, I better. But if Ian's having to shoot off, Irish van is brilliant. He's got all the kit for me. He's got all the kit in there. He's got all the K2, all the proper EMF meters, none of the little plastic K2s, and he knows his stuff.
Well, that's good then. So, and as I say, you have got some slots available for other people as well.
Yeah, we've got plenty of slots left.
So, is there any other plans that you've got coming up? What have you dropped yourself into?
I'm looking at probably next year is doing probably a Paracon UK. A paranormal convention.
Sounds a good idea.
Nothing like it for us. And now here tonight, you've got the cryptozoologists have a conference. Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we have something where we could exchange ideas?
Yeah.
And see new equipment and hear about
Paul,
new
you need
stuff
to have a word with
happening.
Nicola.
It'll be a nice change.
Give her a time slot.
We've got to start I mean, the Americans are ahead of us there.
Yeah.
They're behind us on everything else, paranormal world, but they're ahead of us on the convention scene. We need to be up there.
We do.
Yeah, I think we do. You know, we need somewhere where all the groups can come together and chat with everybody and everything, so get to know each other.
Definitely.
This, bickering and stuff, and
yeah.
okay, we're all working towards the same goal.
We are working for the same goal.
Yeah. Some is more of a business for entertainment.
Yes.
But even then, they might capture something, and if they've got a good idea how to capture it and everything, it's even better for their customers.
Definitely. This is it. Definitely. So, we'll keep up the good work, Paul.
I know. I must be absolutely mental.
Before you go.
Yep.
Yeah. Before you go, Paul, Ian says to say good night to you.
Yep.
And you need to get older Nicola. And get her working her own show.
Yes, yeah, we'll be working on it with thumb screws and other implements.
Yes, why not?
Yep.
Okay then, Paul. Well, thanks very much, and we'll talk to you again.
Yep, thank you very much.
All right, good night, my love.
As usual.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, that was our interview. Good night, Paul. That was our interview with Paul. What did you mean? But you appear to be looking after it. Thank you. What do you mean, Ian? Seems so unexpected. He had plans for next year and all. He did have Vinny. He, you know, as I say, we went away, and the last thing we heard, he was in hospital. When we got back, I managed to get hold of him on the Wednesday as soon as I got back before the start of the show, because as you know, we got back and it was straight onto the show, and I gave him a call, and he told me exactly what had happened and what he'd got, and I never got to speak to him again after that, unfortunately. And then I went away for a couple of days, and it was Neil here that asked me if I'd seen what's happened on Facebook, and I missed everything. Did you say you were running a big get-together next year, and was it someone else? So much happening, I've lost track. No, what it was, Ian, because he was talking about a Paracon, and we were saying that we was talking about MBSs at the time. And he said, what is it you do there? And I explained to him, and he said, well, that's something I'd like to do, get all the groups together and have a paranormal convention. That's what he said. And I just happened to be re-listening to the footage to get it ready for tonight, as our tribute to our good friend. And I thought, well, you know, if everybody's willing, and why don't we fulfil that if we can? And I asked Carly if she would help, and obviously I've asked yourself, and maybe we can just do something like that. And because I saw about the Macmillan nurses, I thought, well, why not just try and raise some money, and after expenditures, if any, then we can give a donation to the Macmillan nurses, which I think he would appreciate. So it was just a theory I had, to try and help somewhere along the line, and maybe see what we can do. And as I said to Carly on Facebook, small steps, get some ideas and see what happens, and take it from there. And as I say, all this I want to go through yourself, because you were more closer to Paul with everything, what with Battlefield Paranormal and stuff, and spooky radio. So you were basically his right hand man, and still are really, at the end of the day, because you're carrying on what he can't finish off. So at the end of the day, I need you to be there for guidance, help, and whether we should or not. at the end of the day. But let's get Battlefield out the way first. Like you say, sort the other stuff out later, because there's no rush. It's just, it's just an idea I thought of, that was all. See what happens. Okay. But as I say, I hope you enjoyed that interview. I know Carly missed it originally. But as you can see, his fight for getting everything together and getting everybody working together, which is why I put on that Facebook a quote from him off the actual interview, that teams can work together and even support each other, and we're proving it, which is what he said. So let's do it for him, eh? Right, as I say, Neil's still here. And Steve's gone somewhere on the chat room, and he can't get out. So, have you refreshed it and gone back in again?
I've closed it down completely, look.
For some unknown reason, the chat room's gone AWOL on him. Green room. Are you in? Is that what he's in? The green room?
News to me. How did I get in the green room?
I don't know, but but as I say, Neil's here, and he can carry on talking about what he's planning on doing, and while I try and sort my computer out. So if you want to continue talking about your mediumship and stuff, you said you could talk forever.
We wanted to talk about how things can progress next year. It was one of the things I touched on last time I was here, and as well as part of the keeping the paranormal friendly side of things is we need to collaborate and get together and brainstorm. And I know you've all mentioned it online now. I think that needs doing more than so. There's some very good mediums out there and some very bad mediums out there. And
where are you based?
I think collaboration would actually sort things out with that. But as well as that, it's all the paranormal groups as well, and anything to do with the paranormal. Really, I think we need a big collaboration, and there's enough out there for everybody. If we get together and brainstorm and move forward that way, things will be a little bit better.
Yeah. Did you see what?
I'm just trying to catch up there. I'm based in Liverpool, Ian, but I'm all over the place at the moment with obviously UK Shadow Seekers. But I travel to wherever needed, to be honest.
I can't get out. Don't know what the hell it's all about.
Yeah, you should ban him from the PC.
Hey?
Sue says you should ban him from the PC.
I should ban him from the PC. I don't know what he's done. He's gone into something. It says add MSN or AM or something or other.
I didn't click on anything.
No, he isn't. No, he isn't, Sue.
Leave me alone.
Sorry, Ian.
Leave me alone.
It wasn't Ian, it was Sue65.
Help.
Well, you can still get in via he's on the
I can talk as you, yeah.
he's going to talk as me on the laptop. So is that UKSS? So you're under me as? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it is.
But I don't know what's happened on my main frame. I don't know what he's done there. So you can't see. Now go stand in the corner and face the wall, she says.
Yeah, put your dunce hat on.
So I don't know what's happened there, Ian. He's gone somewhere, and we've refreshed the page. We've closed it and reopened it, and it's still come up saying you've started a new chat in another window or something. It's gone weird.
I haven't even got me smileys.
Well, don't go blaming me, because I usually have effects on electrical items.
He's not sure either. Right, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll have a quick break for the
hit that button, I'll be able to hear it at least. Yeah.
Paranormal events for you, I think.
If anybody's got any questions, fire away. I'm happy to answer them.
Yeah. So we'll just play the paranormal events for you, and then you can call Neil if you want. Is anything else open? Conflict? We'll check that. So we'll leave you with paranormal events for you for a minute, and then we'll be back with you. fed up of wading through the activities and events that other advertisers include? Find just what you're looking for at paranormaleventsforyou.com, your one-stop paranormal directory.
On the 18th of May, at Fright Night Museum, Thackeray Museum in Leeds, you will find the number for Liz Egan on www.thackeraymuseum.org. On the 19th of May, UK Mystic Nights investigations are off to Fort Paul in Hull. On the 21st of the 5th, there's a psychic night at the Park Inn in Hull. On the 25th of May, there's a charity psychic demonstration and mini investigation at Morecambe Winter Gardens, Morecambe, and that's with Mr. Neil Munnerley, who was with us live in the hub on the 11th of April. On the 2nd of the 6th, UK Shadow Seekers are off to the Masonic Lodge in Liverpool. On the 9th of the 6th, UK Mystic Nights are off to Drakelow Tunnels in Kidderminster. Also on the 9th of the 6th, Night Vision Paranormal are on to Landguard Fort in Felixstowe.
So check out the one-stop paranormal directory for more investigations and events available now. Paranormaleventsforyou.com also offers banner advertising for only £10 per year. See our website for more details. Paranormaleventsforyou.com, your one-stop paranormal directory. Yeah, welcome back to the last segment of the show. Steve's still having problems, so he's using the laptop to talk to people in the chat room. Steve, Neil, have you got your mic back on?
I think so, if everybody can hear me.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, definitely. Well, if you want to talk to Neil about anything to do with mediumship or anything like that, you can call us now on 0844 414 3982. So why don't you give us a call and you can speak to Neil and ask him any questions. Has he signed out and back in?
It's something to do with that bloody multi-fucking
Language?
thing.
It's something to do with that multi-something or other.
Yeah, that thing with 4 people on it.
That thing with 4 grouping people on it or something.
Yeah.
I'll sort it out in a bit.
It's flashing.
It's flashing at him.
And everything else has disappeared.
I'll have a look at it in a bit when we finish. It's that technical talk, says Carly.
Yes, that's the one. In the old days, I would have got the hammer out by now, but...
Oh, I don't know. Oh, well, we'll sort that out in a bit. So, does anyone have any questions for Neil? Does anyone want to ask him any questions?
I must apologise for the language there. I didn't realise that I still had my mic on.
Guys, have you booked any paranormal events in North Wales yet? No. Next question. There is one we're looking at, I must admit, which will be a secluded one. What's his attitude to tech investigations? There you go. Take it away.
Is that for me?
That's for you.
My attitude is I'm all for it, and I think the more technology you've got there, because I think one day the way things are moving on, and we've got to move on with the times. Spirits are getting more and more open towards all this side of things. I mean, you've got to remember that paranormal investigations haven't really been going that long, and spirit are still wary about a lot of things that are, we're bringing out. And I think on the technology, although I'm not very diverse with the technology side of things, I must admit, but I think the more the better, and so I'm all for it. I'm not a technophobe. I'm there just as you lot are of getting proof. So the more you have, the better.
Keep talking.
Yes. Yes, we're trying to work.
Ian's asked, does he have a good knowledge? Is that for me, Ian?
Yeah.
think so. They detonate for me when I need the
not
hammer.
not on the technology. No. I'll leave all that to the rest of the group. To be honest.
Check the thing. It's coming up. Questions.
I mean, I am a techie, to be honest, but on the investigation side, no, I don't go near it, to be honest. I do affect electrical objects, run batteries down very, very quickly and things like that. So I tend to stay away from cameras and stuff, as you two know.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
But apart from that, no, like I say, I'm all for as much technology as possible, to be honest. The more sort of chance you've got of getting proof, the better.
He's got big feet.
Big hands as well, but I'm not sure what that means.
Keep the paranormal
Anyway,
friendly.
I think it's keep the paranormal clean tonight, isn't it?
Oh, my life already. Right, so anyway, so nobody else has got any more questions? Nobody wants to ring up and ask him any questions? The number is running along the screen, but if you can't see that, it is actually 0844 414 3982. So if you want to ask any questions concerning meditations, it's not as complicated as you may think. It's just knowing what to use in conjunction with what else in order to allocate a situation. Jeanette says, shall I? Depends what you're going to ask, Jeanette.
Yeah. Have you got a good question? Then
Yeah, keep the paranormal clean, please.
So if you do want to ask any questions about mediumship or your guides, anything like
I do
that.
see what Ian's saying there, and it's completely true. But like I say, I do affect electrical equipment for some reason, like running batteries down and stuff. So I do tend to stay away from it, because I tend to get the blame usually. So
As I say, if you've got a genuine question to ask Neil, yes, Jeanette, really, you can ring if you want to. So, but the number is going along the screen. Just to let you know that next week we hope to have Wendy Calloway from Southern Paranormal talking to us about the way they work, which is what we like to hear from everyone. So if you want to book your place on the show, we have slots available from the 13th of June onwards. Remember, it's your show, so you can come and talk to us about anything paranormal. And even technical stuff with Ian, if Ian wants to do that, even though he's got his own show on a...
I'm just going to answer Ian's little bit on there. Yeah.
Can you hold the line, please?
When I'm actually working in physical mode, I do pull a hell of a lot of energy from around the room, and that tends to run down things pretty quickly. So yeah, Ian, you're completely right there.
Right, was that you, Jeanette, ringing? If so, can you call again? Over that, or somebody holding the line. Decided to hang up. Flipping heck, sharp messing then. What's that all about then?
Where's what accent's that, Sue?
I don't know. Sharp messing then. Shush.
Yeah. What do you think the future holds for mediumship, Neil?
Well, I mean that's a big question, isn't it? And each generation we've moved on so very, very quickly. I would like to see the future of mediumship being one collaboration, and we're all together doing the same thing and going from the same sort of the same book.
You changed your mind.
There's a lot of faffing about out there of people taking the limelight.
What's the question?
Shouldn't be taking the limelight.
What's your question?
I'm not going to mention no names because I'm not like that, but we need to work together, and it's not just mediums, it's the whole paranormal existence, to be honest. We need to get something in place, we need to get collaboration in place, we need to get together, and that's really where the future is. Get rid of the gimmickry, and start moving up. Let's take her up the next level,
Hold on.
Be what you are and not not what you think.
Be what you are, and not what you think you can
not.
do. You know, because it'll always come back and bite you up the backside,
Right.
and
Right.
that's already happening.
Okay. I'll
Neil?
let you get on that question.
Neil, there's a question that
Right.
needs to be asked
Okay.
by Jeanette.
Fire away, Jeanette.
Go on, Jeanette.
Hello, by the way.
Speak,
I
Jeanette.
hear you. Speak up.
Speak.
Neil, speak up.
Yes, go on, speak.
Things jumping off my bed.
Pardon?
You know, like you said, there was a ghost in my house.
Yes.
Right, well, it's thudding in my bedroom.
It's thudding.
That's not rude at all. It's like somebody's jumping around.
What, on the floor? You can hear it on the floor?
I can hear it from downstairs, yeah.
Okay.
You still got somebody walking around.
Yeah, obviously somebody's walking around, Steve. When you say thudding, does it shake the house, or is it like more of a footstep thud?
It's like someone jumping off the bed.
So it's quite a loud thud.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you think the thud sounds like an adult or a child? Is it, you know, what kind of thud? If you can understand what I'm saying.
I can understand totally. I think it's like a person, big.
Okay, so you're looking at an adult. I mean, there's not a great deal I can do from here, to be honest.
Really?
But I mean, that's normal sometimes. They do things like that just to get attention, you know. And if they,
I'm on my own.
I mean, do you talk out? Do you ask questions? Do you tell it to stop? And
No, normally I just shit myself.
see, what happens is when spirit come and try and get, you know, in touch with us, it takes a lot of energy for them to come through. And if they feel they're not getting in touch, then obviously they've got to go and try again at a later stage. So they'll try anything while they're getting through to get your attention.
Scary though, you know.
So if you're ignoring, then obviously it feels that it's not getting through to you, so it'll try different things to get through to you.
Okay.
What you need to do is talk out and say, look, you know, I know you're here. You know, you're scaring me. Calm it down a bit. I will talk to you. You know, I will. You know, open up to you.
I don't want to talk to it though, Neil. To be honest.
Well, tell it to go away. Just tell it to stop. It's scaring you.
Okay.
You know, but you need to talk out so it knows it's got your attention, and it should calm down from there.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. M.
That's no problem. Unless it's a poltergeist, of course, and then all your plates will be thrown out the cupboards. No, sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. No, just
to check it out. Sorry.
Just call out and say, look, you know, you're getting through, you're scaring me, you know, can you stop this now?
Okay.
And things should start calming down. If not, then obviously get in touch again.
Wave at me.
I will wave at you, don't worry.
Thank you, Mr. M.
No problem. I'll see you soon anyway.
Okay, hurry up. Bye.
A couple of things on the chat room for you to look at.
See you soon. Right, I need you to
Yeah, where we going?
there. Right, okay. Starting from oh wait, sounds like psychic disconnection. Then Carly asked a question before it jumped up.
Yeah, she said,
Get
I have
up.
lots in my house, but one
Where's it
thing that
gone?
happens a lot is at different points, each of us will hear one of the others speak. When the person we are hearing, I'm not in. Does that make sense?
I've lost it. Hold on. Yeah.
It can do. It can do. You know, spirit are very, very diverse at doing things, you know, and they can do things that are, to us, are just, you know, in the imagination, you know, of what they're capable of doing. You know, and they can mimic, they can deceive us, they can do all kinds of things. You know, so the one thing that you've got to be aware of is when spirit tries to come over and make contact with us, it does take a hell of a lot of energy for them to come through. And if they're not getting, if they think they're not getting in touch with you, they'll keep trying and trying and trying, but they'll try different methods each time, and it'll get worse and worse and worse until finally, you know, they get contact with you.
And then it says subconscious psychic disconnection, or could I be wrong? She could also actually be doing it herself.
Yeah, I understand. I understand. I understand that. I mean, there's another thing, you know, that I did. I was going to speak at a later date about, and that's the people who are, how can I say, not spiritually aware, could actually be open and wide open and attracting things into the house or attracting things to them, and they're unaware of doing that. Because they just haven't got the knowledge, you know, and that could be happening. You know, some people open up gateways in the house and allow all kinds through, but they're doing that themselves. But they're unaware of doing it themselves because they haven't got the knowledge, you know, of what they're doing.
She said that makes sense because you can't put hearing a recognisable voice down to anything else.
Yeah.
So
I got that quite a lot as a child. I used to think my dad or my mum was in the house and they weren't, you know, and I used to always hear my name being shouted out or called, and it felt like they were stood right behind me, you know, and when I turned around there was nothing there, you know, and that tends to happen. They're just trying to get your attention, you know, but they try to get your attention, you know, most spirits are good, you know, and they'll try and get your attention in ways that they're not going to try and scare you too much, you know, but they do sometimes do it, you know, a little bit of a shock sometimes to just get you aware of that, you know, they're around.
right, bye Jeanette. Why is Steve watching the video when he's in the room? So we can make sure that it's not jumping and it looks okay and that I'm in focus and Neil's in focus and blah 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 blah.
Well, normally it would be on there and I'd have the chat up, but my chat's gone wonky, so I'll watch it on there.
So as I say, don't forget, if you want to be involved in the show, remember it's your show. We are based in the Manchester area near the City Stadium. Okay, so if you want to join us live in the hub, you can. Or you can call us one evening and we can have you on the show.
Yeah, not too many at once, we've only got a little room.
So, yeah, not too many at once, we have got a little room. We also record our shows via Polder Bits and then put them onto the KTPF live stream, which is livestream.com/KTPF, which is the KTPF Paranormal Community channel. So if you want to listen again, your Water Bits. It's a program called Polder Bits. It just records the volume.
Where are you from, Sue? I need to know what that accent is.
Yeah, it's a sound recorder basically. Records in wave.
Yeah, Sue's in Rotherham. Ian, we would love to have you come over, mate.
I thought it was Yorkshire. Yeah.
And yes, he is reading the questions on the actual chat room because I've got the chat room up, so it's a lot better than me repeating them for him. So,
I ran a pub in Rotherham for around about 3 or 4 months called the Cross Keys Hotel. She might know that.
Really, she says.
Yes, really.
So Ian said he must be psychic. She has heard of it. I do.
It's
LOL.
in Rotherham Town Centre.
Right. So as I say, if you want to come over, if you fancy travelling up, Carly, and coming on the show, that's not a problem. Come and advertise to the internet what you do and who you are and where you come from, and we're sat on the other, and you know.
We can supply tea, coffee and biscuits, can't
Oh
we?
yeah. One thing I do want to do, I must admit, is to do some sort of paranormal, a bit like Battlefield, but I do really want to do a paranormal social event, maybe down at Drakelow Tunnels or somewhere like that. Get all the teams together to do something at Drakelow Tunnels. It's pitch black dark, unless Ian's got his gear. You can bring your gear if you want. And you know, maybe that would be a good idea. It could do an investment. Well, funny you should say that. Things have been happening here. Haven't they, Neil?
Yeah.
Yes,
especially over Christmas, and this last Christmas it's been a little bit.
I blame Neil.
Say no more.
Yeah, it has been a little bit busy. Even our poor dog Roxy, she's a little bit confused. I can see you now, Ian, with your gear. I'll be cases and cases full of stuff. Yeah, and our stuff. And
you would at Drake though, yeah.
Oh dear. Yes, Drakelo is a lovely place. No electricity, and we can run the chat in infrared in the dark. Oh, that sounds good.
Well, that'd be different, wouldn't
It would be different. So that or full spectrum. It would be good to have some electric there. I must admit that. I don't know. We'd all be purple. We'd all be purple. So, but yeah, it would be good.
We'd be purple.
It's a nice place down at Drakelo, and I'm sure I can book a place down there and get it at. Well, I know how much it is for us anyway. So, because we get a little bit of a discount.
Yeah, if you walk every part of it, all the connecting tunnels and everything, it's about 9 miles altogether.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a lot of tunnels.
I think we run about 5 miles.
How much? Go on,
Yeah, I
per
think so, yeah.
person. Per person. Oh, if we can do it, probably get it for about 15 quid per
15
person. You know what I mean? So there isn't reception or lecky there, is there? No, that's the problem, Vinny. But with Ian, if you want electric, he'll be there. Would you like to go on a private visit? I like places quiet and lonely. I'd like to go on it would be a private visit, you know.
Yeah.
You know, just us, or you know, have a van full. Yeah, I'd love to do private invest. You know, I really do. It'll be good to do. You know, where you haven't got to babysit, for want of a better word, and you can just get on with it.
It is, yeah, and I'll treat you to a physical demonstration as well.
Oh God! Start time to the chair.
Physical demonstration in the dark.
Oh, time to the chair.
The tunnels. Ooh, what?
He done that once, and people thought he was walking around. So, hello, Booby Pie or Booble Pie.
That'd be perfect with his cameras. Could it'll all run from his van?
Yes, there you go.
Definitely.
Thank you.
You'd be able to get that on film.
Yeah.
So we was talking actually earlier.
We've not actually filmed that, have we? So
we would like to. We were saying the team would love to go for a ghost walk, wouldn't it, around Lady Bower?
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So you know, just a small group doing
or
something
even out
like
in
that.
Towers. I mean, we were talking about it last time we did an open air one, didn't we? And
Yeah.
when the weather gets a bit better, you know, we could have a barbecue out there and you know, set something up where, you know, it's formal and just the teams really, you know, that'd be great.
This is it. If you want to change your name, you just click on your name and change it that way. So if you've just come in, you've actually missed a good show. We've been talking about past life regression, and we also had a replay of Paul Reed.
Sounds good, Ian.
It does actually. Can I do some fishing while I'm there?
Oh yeah. I'll have some of that. We'll do some fishing and call out when we got. Yeah.
Where they sent the children during the... Oh, Ian. Oh. When am I off?
Yeah, we'll be off.
Like man screaming. Whereabouts are you, Carly? I was looking at a place in Leicestershire earlier. Bow Manor Hall or something they call it. The Poltergeist Hall or something. But she said, I'll see you Friday anyway.
Yeah, I think we could.
Yeah.
Cheers, Carly.
Thanks. See you on Friday. Lights floating through the woods and children screaming. Ooh, nice. Well, anyway.
No, it says children's voices.
Oh, sorry, voices. Well, anyway, we're going to finish off the show. We're going to wrap this up. Neil will be in another time, joining us with other guests. I hope you've enjoyed the show. And if you're part of Battlefield Paranormal, watch out for more information from Ian soon. Okay, he's getting it all sorted. We will be back next week. as I say, with some more guests and hopefully yourself. You know, if you want to get involved, as I said, we want to try and make a difference, which is what Paul wanted as well, to make for a better community, okay, which was what he was contributing to. And see you next week then, Layla. And I say thanks again for listening and to the KTPF Community Show, and we'll be back next week. So until then,
keep the paranormal friendly, guys, and it's time to put your dancing shoes on.
remember today, tomorrow and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night, guys.